Oh my gosh, Rachel, I can't even begin to tell you. I am pinching myself constantly. This is not real. This is a dream life because if I wasn't a reporter, my dream would be to become a country superstar or Beyonce's backup dancer. So really, this is just a dream come true. And thank you so much. This is a bridesmaid's dress, not going to lie. So we're keeping the fashion nice and reasonably priced today. But we are on the red carpet. It just opened a couple minutes ago. Good morning, guys. Yeah, the lines may not be as fast as a Kentucky Derby horse, but they are moving very quickly. That was a good joke, right? I thought so. We needed it after this morning. There was definitely a lot of frustrated passengers, but there are a a lot of smiles now. You look great, my friend.
Is this my color?
Yes, it looks ravishing.
I thought it was too.
Right,
you know, maybe a little out of season. This will really keep me warm around.
I think it's
December,
great. You kind of remind me of the ducks and chicks we got to see today.
This 200-gallon pot behind us is getting clean this morning, getting ready to make a lot of ranch dressing.
It's like my dream come true. It's my favorite thing in the world. But yes, that's right, guys. Coming up, we're going to show you what it takes to make more than 100,000 meals for these students every day. Good morning, guys. You know, morning television is just such a beautiful thing for its spontaneity. Sometimes your interview subjects are right with you, standing beside, and sometimes you got to wake them up, and that's our case today. Howie Kay, who plays Dracula, the man, the myth, the legend, requested that we wake him up. He's a little tired from too many plays, so we'll see how this goes. Hello, Howie. Hello. Are you ready for your interview?
Sarah?
Yes. Good morning. The last swimmer got in the water around 8:15, so this race goes until about midnight. Congratulations. Are you an Ironman?
I am.
All right,
I got the medal going.
We are reporting live from 4th Street. Sarah Wagner and the Ironman, 11 out of 11. I feel like now is the best time to give you guys some wise words from my darling mother, Kathy Wagner. She always says you can never put a price on a good time. Saturday is sure to be that, so it might be worth coughing up those big bucks for the ticket. It's the annual Fried Chicken Throwdown, which I have to tell you makes me very excited because my parents are both one of 9 kids, so I have, like 600 cousins, and fried chicken has been the unofficial sponsor of all those family gatherings for years and years. This has been a life-changing morning for me. It turns out I've been doing things right. I can eat as much pasta and pizza as I want as long as it's cold. Okay, that's not exactly true, but we have learned some good tips, and we're back with more, the herbal pharmacist, David Foreman. Good morning, guys. I thought I had the slightest bit of artistic or creative ability. Turns out I don't. Once I stepped in here, I realized that very quickly, but we are back with Marty, the Deputy Parks Director. Now, something that's really cool is every year the sections change here. We have a very special one this year.
Yes, the alley section.
So should I ride side saddle or just, okay.
Just be a lady.
Oh, just be a lady. Okay, guys. You ready, my friend? My friend back here, hair twins. Okay. Oh, goodness, y'all. Okay. All right. I will say it's a nice ride. It's not too bad. We're going to do a little loop-de-loop, turn around. Okay. Y'all, I think I could get used to this. Just take this every day to work. Good morning, Juliana. Well, we figured if we're here, we might as well walk and see what's going on and maybe look out for some good deals ourselves. And there are lots of shoppers out here already. We will have all this information on the website for you.
You want to sing one more time?
You know, I think I will spare them the details. Head to social media for that.
Of a wine.
Christmas.
Thank you.
Guys, I won't spare you anymore. I'm reporting live from the Fraser this morning. Sarah Wagner.
A funeral mass held today for Sister Paula Merrill. She was one of 2 nuns who was stabbed to death in Mississippi last week. And as our Sarah Wagner shows us, people came from all over the world to show their support.
This campus here in Nazareth, Kentucky is where Sister Paula Merrill first answered the call to service. And today, it's where that call came to an end. Her life may have been taken in such a tragic and violent way, but for the hundreds of people who gathered here today to pay their final respects, they're choosing to look at all the good that came before that. After pew, packed full of so many people touched by Sister Paula Merrill, all there to grieve together, but also celebrate the life that changed so many of theirs.
She listened not only to where it hurts, but also to the stories her patients needed to tell. She listened when so many others would not listen.
For more than 30 years, Sister Paula and Sister Margaret served the poorest of the poor.
The people of Mississippi with whom she lived and worked captured her heart.
Never thinking twice about the significance of that sacrifice.
Paula never wanted anyone to focus on the righteousness of her own actions.
For a woman who never craved the spotlight and shunned at the thought of any recognition, all this attention may seem ironic. But for those who knew and loved her best, it's a very fitting ending to a story that deserves to be shared.
Today was a beautiful service where we experienced oneness, forgiveness, and healing.
Sister Margaret Held also had her funeral and burial today in Milwaukee. The leadership here says it's just one more example of how these two will be united long after their death. Reporting in Nazareth, Sara Wagner, WHAS 11 News.
11:11, Sara Wagner has the latest on the investigation from our newsroom. Sara?
Kayla, police say the victim was shot multiple times and died at the hospital. The coroner has not released his name at this time, but neighbors tell us he was in his 30s. While his death marks Louisville's 100th homicide, his loved ones hope he'll be remembered for more than just the chilling number he represents.
About 12:15 this afternoon, the Louisville Metro Police 4th Division responded to a call of a shooting in the 700 block of Camp Street.
Time, address, and nature of the call. All details police have now had to give at dozens and dozens of scenes like this one.
The Louisville Metro Police Homicide Unit's investigating at this time.
It's a phrase the department has now had to repeat 100 times this year alone.
Been senseless in many cases, and there's probably no basis for this one as well.
Hitting the triple digits may be difficult to grasp because from 1 to 100, behind each victim is a family, a mother, father, or child forced to go on without.
Unfortunately, it's 100 that we're at, and it's as worse as the first one we had back in January. It's a very tragic thing that's happened in our community.
Something so many across this city know all too well.
It's a whole lot of drama, mischief, and people hating on other people.
This neighbor didn't want to be identified, but he knew the victim.
He was a good guy. He was real.
This man has called the neighborhood home for more than 50 years. He sees the good and bad.
A lot of love right here. A lot of love. You know, everybody just got caught up. We're losing entirely too many peoples. Entirely. For no reason. For no reason.
It's hard to understand this sort of violence, but maybe stopping it is simpler than we think.
We all just need to get together and just sit down and have powwow, barbecue, whatever you want to do, you know what I'm saying? You know, just be a family one time. Instead of everybody, man, just running around, boom, 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 boom.
If you know anything about this homicide or any of the other cases, you are urged to call 574-LMPD. Live in the newsroom, Sara Wagner, 11 at 11. Lines can be boring. You just want to get to the end. But sometimes it's what happens during your wait that can turn the dull into delightful. This is Carol Akra's second year as a poll worker, a job she stumbled upon from a flyer in her mailbox.
Let's see if you come up.
That chance delivery, now something she considers destiny.
I had no idea. I thought they had people that always worked the polls, and I called and got on, and I was hooked the first time.
It's safe to say she's a bit addicted.
Thank you. Next.
Which makes up for the early wake-up call.
2 o'clock this morning, because I was so excited to get over here.
That lack of sleep, a constant since Carol's first election.
I was scared. I was up all night. I was so sick to my stomach. I thought, oh my God, computers, because I'm not that good with them. And she showed me how to do. She said, calm down, and showed me, and I went, that's it?
Today, that fear is long gone, replaced with patriotic pride.
Oh, hi. Have not seen you somewhere.
That technology that once terrified her, now making her downright giddy.
Yeah, everybody can tell when it's getting close to elections, because I start saying, they gotta call me, they gotta call me.
Carol admits she just couldn't handle the suspense this year. So much so, she called the election board back in February just to make sure it had her signed up to work.
I said, give me all the hours I can get. I don't care where I gotta work. I can work anywhere. I love it.
With a few of these elections now under her belt.
Just seen this 88-year-old lady in here dancing.
This democracy diva knows what it takes to soar through these long days.
As long as you got a good nature about you, you know, you can smile and talk with the people. Can't give your opinion. That's, you know, no. But just be friendly. Don't be an old grump. Nobody wants to see a grumpy person.
And thanks to Carol, nobody voting at the New Albany Library ever will.
If you don't vote, you can't cry. Even if your man doesn't win, you know, at least you put your 2 cents in.
That report by Sara Wagner.
Kayla, right now police say there is no evidence to connect the two. They tell us this is where Tommy Ballard's life tragically came to an end around 8 o'clock this morning. A family friend says Ballard has owned this property for the last 6 to 7 years. It sits right along Ed Brent Road and just behind the Bluegrass Parkway. For months now, this small town has come together to help the Ballards search for their missing daughter, and that strong showing of support continued today. This field is where Tommy Ballard should have hunted Saturday morning. It should have been the spot where he could enjoy some time away. It should have been a brief escape from the months of unanswered questions and countless days of searching for his missing daughter.
It'll never be easier, I know, but finding her will give us some closure.
It's that wish Tommy expressed time and time again, and one that he'll never get to see come true. What used to be a peaceful place is now full of pain and even more questions. KSP couldn't answer many of them, but is officially calling this a death investigation.
To rule it as anything else right now at this time would be irresponsible.
KSP says Ballard was hunting with a child when he was fatally shot. It's not clear what kind of gun was used or who pulled the trigger. Ballard's truck sat just feet away from where it happened. Police spent the day investigating the property and a nearby stretch of Bluegrass Parkway. Dozens and dozens of cars lined the property, most of them plastered with stickers asking for information about Crystal Rogers' disappearance. KSP urging for that support from the community to continue, both for the family and those working this case.
So just have faith, say your prayers for this family. They've been through a lot. And we're going to get out there and work as hard as we can and figure out what happened.
The Ballard family is sadly no stranger to tragedy. So many in this community are all too familiar with their story and share in their heartbreak.
And I thought I was having a bad day until I saw that. It is very unfortunate that they've been through enough, and it's enough, and that we love them and we care about them, and that, you know, what can we do but pray for them?
We're now more than 12 hours into this investigation, and police are still on the scene. They've got those lights up and have had them up the last several hours or so. KSP is hoping to have more information for us, but they couldn't give us a timeline as to when that update will come. Reporting in Bardstown, Sara Wagner, 11 at 11.
Louisville's International Film Festival is back and bringing some truly incredible stories to town right now. In fact, one documentary you won't want to miss is called Lines of Sight. It features a lifelong artist who almost lost his vision 15 years ago. He stopped by Louisville's Heiser Hearing Institute this morning, leaving behind some very excited and inspired students, as our Sara Wagner found out.
Well, you're quite a bunch. So many smiling faces.
A good 80 years or so separates this speaker from his audience. That's a whole lot of life in between there, but art has a way of bringing people together. These students are no strangers to hardships. Neither is Jim Hall. After getting shingles in 2001, he woke up one morning seeing everything in vertical lines. Jim thought he was going blind, but this lifelong artist continued his craft, picking paint over panic.
The lines went away after about 3 months. I painted them away, I guess, but it seemed like such an interesting concept that I continued to paint that way.
Nearly losing his sight gave him an entirely new vision. Jim calls it linealism and now has around 200 masterpieces to his name. Each one takes about a month, with this artist committing every day to the canvas.
Yep, and every night.
That dedication now spreading to the youngest of artists.
There you go. That's good.
Each line teaching a lesson.
All the way down, slowly. There.
Every stroke leaving a lasting impression.
As far as I'm concerned, they're the celebrities. Every child. I mean, the smiles on their faces, the little fist bumps, the high fives, the smile, the eyes, the way they light up sometimes. There's nothing like it.
It's a full circle moment of sorts for the man who struggled more than most, overcoming depression and alcoholism.
I guess you could say, with all of the obstacles and disappointments I've had in my life, one thing that never let me down was art.
The thing that never failed him, now showing a new generation anything is possible.
It's sharing with people how you don't have to accept what life throws you. You can change it.